Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for coming. We are so very excited today to have Nika introduce our speakers. So Nika, please introduce.
Yes, hi everyone. Thanks for coming. I'm so very excited that we have Desiree Dubois here today. I met her through my women's real estate group, which has my heart, years and years ago. And I remember when she first explained what she was doing, it was very fascinating. And I've kind of watched her grow through the years. I'm actually a part of one of her projects in San Diego. It's very exciting. And now she's moved on to Mexico. She has been involved in real estate since 1989 in various different ways, flipping, developing, anything that you can think of. But then now has a very interesting niche called co-working, co-living. And actually, the pandemic kind of helped with this because lots of people are digital nomads now, so you can go and work in a fun, exciting place, especially like Mexico. I think that's what she's gonna tell us about one of her projects in Mexico today. We're very excited to have her. Take it away, Desiree. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you, Nika, and thank you, Peggy, for this opportunity. And yes, I think both of you, we knew each other before this came. It was only a dream. So homework is where you can live where you work where you live, anywhere in the world. And my partner, Jake, is also presenting with me today because I happen to be on Cabo at the moment as we speak. So he has the deck and he's going to help us go through it. Jake, you ready to share the opportunity? I don't know if you have shares.
Of course. Yeah, and Nika or Peggy, do I have access to do a screen share to pull up the slide? Okay.
You should.
All right.
So yeah, interior design, as well as he's one of our partners in our San Diego facility, which is doing fantastic. And then Jake is our head of our investor relations. So homework, as we said, is live where you work where you live, anywhere. And so Jake, you're going to be able to go through?
Yeah, we're good to go. So yeah, I just started off with the first slide that you highlighted.
So let's go to the
yeah, go for it.
Now I want you to take it through. I'm at the location. So our purpose though is it's like, well, as you may be able to see it, but our purpose is to change the way people live and work, especially for remote workers. So now I think almost everybody, or they know of somebody who works remotely. And if you're going to do that, why not do it on the beaches of the Cabo, or do it in the heart of San Diego and other areas like that. So Jake, why don't you go through the different slides and then I'll chip in as we go along for time's sake.
Sounds good. And just to kind of echo what Desiree was talking about in regards to our purpose, a big thing that we were noticing that that this demographic of remote workers and digital nomads and business travelers were essentially falling short on is that community and collaboration. A lot of people were starting to realize that working remotely doesn't have to mean working from home. I know a lot of people, just including myself, operating out of a spare bedroom in our house, and that isolation can kind of wear on you over time. And so a lot of people are looking for more unique stays that offer a more social lodging experience. And so that's really what birthed the concept of homework. So here's our team. You guys already hit on a good chunk of this with Desiree's background, with my background coming from residential real estate. Gary is our CFO, so he is our numbers wizard. His day job is working for Titleist. He's a mechanical engineer, and he holds something like 70 plus patents on different golf clubs. So he's a very smart man when it comes to underwriting and just the numerical side, the financing side of our business model. And then Cedric is actually down in Cabo with Desiree right now as well. He is our marketing and research analyst, and he knows a lot of the social media and the tech side, investor platform. So he's our techie young buck. So this is our local Southern California team. And then we put together a boots on the ground team in each new market that we are expanding into. So that would consist of the property management team, project management, legal team, accounting, We also have a super host as part of the team as well. So we like having those local teams in each new market that we expand into to help us really, utilize local expertise. So this essentially highlights the concept of co-living and co-working. So there's a lot of companies out there that strictly do co-living types of properties, which are private bedroom and private bathroom in a furnished home with several shared common areas. So that could be anything from kitchen area, dining area, outdoor portions of a property. For us, we've utilized rooftop areas, pool deck, things like that. So that's kind of the co-living side of it, which is a very growing asset class right now. And then there's other companies that do co-working. So I'm sure some of you guys have probably heard of WeWork or Regis, other buildings like that where people rent out office space and then also have the shared areas. So we are basically marrying these two concepts together and creating co-living, co-working properties. So we're renting out these private bedrooms and bathrooms short to mid-term. And then we have that added element of creating an office lounge somewhere on site for people to get to come together and utilize to balance that remote work lifestyle.
So we refer to it as Airbnb meets WeWork.
Mm.
Keep going. I know where the clock is ticking.
Yeah, that seems to keep it simple enough for people to grasp the concept. And there's different ways that we go about creating that co-working and co-living vibe, such as, we'll have a game room on site or put a gym in there. We do different types of on-site events between, we've done Oktoberfest, we've done Friendsgiving, wine tastings, things like that. So we'll sponsor different types of community events like that to create that social environment at our different properties. So here's our track record thus far. We started off here in Southern California in Rancho Santa Fe with Casa Cielo, and that was pre-pandemic. We were already seeing this growing trend of remote working as a result of increased gas prices, increased cost in childcare, advancements in technology. So there was already a huge shift towards remote work pre-pandemic. And then once COVID rolled around, then that obviously just added fuel to the fire. So we just, we're kind of in the right place at the right time in regards to already having the wheels in motion. We did put a pause on the business model during lockdowns when people weren't traveling. But as soon as people started getting back to somewhat of a normal lifestyle, that's when we opened up our next location, the Golden Hill location, which was a 12-bed, 12.5 bath, also here in San Diego. And so those two properties were our proof of concept, and just to demonstrate that, hey, this business model works. It's fundamentally sound. Both were cash flowing. And we were able to do that in a market where a lot of people told us, stay away from in regards to not the most favorable landlord regulations here in the area, and also just the price points. A lot of people really just bank on appreciation here in Southern California when it comes to investment properties. It's harder and harder to come across cash flowing rental properties in the area. So the fact that we were able to demonstrate that success here in this area just kind of showed, okay, if we can get it to work here, we can get it to work in a lot of other markets. And so after talking with a lot of our guests coming through, the conversation was, hey, where are you guys going after this? Where are all these digital nomads and remote workers traveling to? And the number one response that we got was Mexico. Lower cost of living down there, very, very favorable for people to get around, Americans, Canadians, you name it. And so we looked at different markets, and Cabo rose to the top of the list for a number of reasons. Safety, the value, the appreciation of property values down there really rapidly increasing. And one of the most important factors was that the Cabo government has actually teamed up with Airbnb to form a marketing campaign to attract more remote workers to the area, which obviously bodes very well for our model. So that led us to our next purchase, which was Costa Azul, which was a beachfront 12-bed, 12-bath project that Desiree has been down working at as of late. We're about to launch that one here shortly, finishing up the renovations. And then we got our next property down there, which is the one that we're going to be talking about today, which is in the Cabo Real community, about 10 minutes down the road from Costa Azul. So why Cabo? Couple main reasons. One, it's top 10 visited city in Mexico. They've had a massive increase in tourism down there. Safety level is big. Level 2 safety rating, which is very comparable to a lot of Western Europe areas. Pricing, we're able to charge a high premium because there's very little supply of co-working, co-living, and just short-term rentals in that area. And then to zoom out a little bit, as opposed to just why Cabo, but why Mexico? Mexico itself is a haven for remote workers. So 14% of digital nomads are reported being located in Mexico. They also have a drastically expanding global trade. So they've actually passed China in regards to the largest trading partner of the US. And Investopedia is actually projecting that by 2050, Mexico will evolve from the 15th largest economy in the world to the 5th largest economy in the world. A lot of countries are now starting to relocate their manufacturing to Mexico to be able to trade easier with the US. So it's is a rapidly growing market that a lot of major companies and institutional investors are moving into that space. So a little bit about the location. San Jose del Cabo is smack dab in between the airport and Cabo San Lucas. When a lot of people, when they hear Cabo, they think Cabo San Lucas. So that's more of your the ruckus party type of area. I would compare it to Cabo San Lucas is similar to Phoenix, and then San Jose del Cabo is more similar to Scottsdale. So it's more about a golf community, a little more family oriented, a little bit quieter. So very centrally located in that area, and over 3 million plus yearly visitors via airfare and cruise ships coming to that area. So there's a lot of travel going to Los Cabos. So the project itself, this is our Cabo Real Lux property. As you can see from that photo, it is a 8,000 square foot mansion located in Cabo Real Golf Club. So it's a private gated community with a golf course. It was built in 2001, and so it's already in great shape. Has a elevator on site, and from that picture you can see that huge rooftop is just a blank slate for us to go in there and work some magic. And not only is it on the golf course with golf course views, but it also has Sea of Cortez views as well. So we kind of get the best of both worlds there in regards to water view and golf course view. Here are the investment highlights. So we're going to be purchasing this property for $1.4 million. It's valued right around 1.8. So we're getting a really big discount right out of the gates there because of the seller situation. So it was a COVID scenario. The seller passed away. The heirs who inherited it, they don't live in Mexico. They didn't want to have to travel down there to deal with anything. So basically, us coming in, offering a quick close scenario and basically just taking a lot of the work off of their hands is partially why they were willing to take a discount on the asking price. $50K in closing cost. We're anticipating about $150,000 in renovations, and that may seem low for that size property, but really what we're doing is we're going to be adding a few bedrooms within, so just putting up a few walls. And aside from that, it's adding the gym, adding the game room, and the co-working lounge. So we're not having to go in and gut this property like a lot of flips and renovations. It's already in great shape, which you'll see throughout some of the photos that we get through here. So 150K total reno, we're going to keep 100K in reserves. And so that comes out to 1.7 total raise. And after doing the renovations and forcing the appreciation through the upgrades, we're also going to be, this is converting a residential property to a cash flowing commercial rental property. So just by doing that, after showing 1 to 2 years of cash flow and rental history, between the two, we're going to be able to, we're projecting about 1.6 mil in value created. So here's some before and after photos of what we're anticipating. So picture to the left is the current state. As you can see, that rooftop, like I mentioned, it's a clean slate for us to go in and put fire pits and lighting and seating and put a bar and grill and everything up top there. Right there on the course you can see, and then you can see the ocean at the top. So killer views, great spot where it's at. The pictures at the top, those are the current conditions. So like we mentioned, it's in great shape. If we wanted to rent this property out tomorrow, we could. We're not going to, because we have a certain vibe that we go for, and that's part of Desiree's expertise is the interior decorating, and finding a good vibe for each room that we rent out as well. So we kind of go for the Tulum boho vibe a little bit. And then another, I guess, revenue stream that we weren't expecting is the entire property rental. So we've already had a lot of people asking to rent out the entire space for their corporate offsites, for retreats, things of that nature. So we're not just going to be renting out individual rooms for co-work and co-living. We're also going to rent out the entire property itself for group rentals. So to break down our return and projections, we have 2 different shares that we're offering to passive investors. We have Class A, which is the fixed return. So that's the preferred return. How that works is we do an 8% annual return, and that's paid out monthly. And then we do an 8% catch up per year at the exit. So if we were to hold this for 5 years, a passive investor would accrue 40K over that 5 years in distributions. Then they would receive an additional 40K at the exit. So that would be an 80K return on a $100,000 investment, which equates to 16% annual ROI. Class B is the variable return, or the equity share. And so how that works is we do a 7% annual return, which is paid out monthly. So if we held this for 5 years, an investor would accrue 35K over those 5 years. And then at the exit, we do a 70-30 profit share. So 70% to our limited partners or passive investors, and then 30% to the general partners. So that's where you see that 66,000 exit return, which is obviously a good chunk higher than Class A, but that's also not a guaranteed number. So Class A has a little bit more certainty in regards to what numbers to expect. Class B has more potential for upside. And so that's where you see 22% average ROI. And then just other advantages with this type of investment. Diversification, I think, is one of the biggest ones when it comes to being a different market and also a different asset class. And then the tax incentives that come with owning real estate, as well as the fact that it's a completely passive investment. So no managing of toilets, tenants, or trash. And then here's our timeline. So we're raising capital right now for the project. We're closing at the end of the month. So we're coming down to the end in regards to people being able to get in on this particular project. We're going to start renovations next month, and the property should be up and running, cash flowing by June. So our distributions to passive investors will be starting in July. So very, very quick turnaround. Distributions start 3 months after close of escrow. So that essentially wraps it up. Anybody who is interested in pursuing this further, it's pretty simple. We use InvestNext as our platform. The next steps would just be signing the operating agreement, confirming that you're an accredited investor, and then transferring funds securely through InvestNext.
Right, and you'll send that to me.
Yes,
You do that.
absolutely.
You got it. And
Okay,
here's a QR code if anybody wants to just learn more about us or connect with us further too.
And Peggy will also have the information. So
Thank you.
now we'd love to have any questions, any ideas. Have anyone been in the Cabo San Jose area? And as Jerry mentioned, it is different from Cabo San Lucas. So Cabo San Jose is just a quieter, more laid back, more sophisticated, more upscale part of that area. So I'm curious, I can't see the chat box. I'm curious to see how many people have actually been here or how many people have invested. We're always surprised to find out how many people have actually invested outside of the United States. They're looking for those international returns.
I was at Cabo a couple weeks ago, but I've never been to San Jose, and everybody I know that has been there really loves it. Mostly because it doesn't have the same, has a completely different atmosphere,
Yes.
which is a nice one. Whereas when you're in Cabo San Lucas, it's all the hawkers and I don't know, it's just not that inviting to me.
It's the party town. So yeah, this is like with the Sea of Cortez behind me. You'll just see it's a lot of, it's just very open and very quiet and peaceful and gorgeous. They have an old and a new. But I think the real thing is the incentive is that the fact that you can buy property is so reasonable. Because where could you buy an 8,000 square foot house for that price point on a golf course in a gated community, and the house itself is gated? So that, and if that kind of view, and all you need is the golf cart to take you to the beach. So that itself is the value. And then the fact that the labor is so inexpensive here between the housekeeping and the gardeners and the pool people, the rates are low, but the rental rates are high. So all we need is 35% occupancy to cash flow. And usually can't find those kind of cash flow, that kind of market in these states, as well as the cap rates are at 10%, between 8 and 12%. So just using 10%, you have, great opportunities. So that's kind of, they say, look where you want to live, but then also look where we make money, look where the opportunities are. And this is one where the opportunities are. That's what brought us here, is the opportunities. We would actually make more money. You have the appreciation, you have the tourists that's growing. You also have very few large homes like that have that capacity of, 16 people, Jake, 16 to 20 people. Most of them are 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms, but very few. So a lot of people come here for resorts and weddings and parties and retreats and family reunions. So being able to being one of the few that are available for that purpose is priceless.
It's great.
Yeah, so
I do have a question.
Yes.
My concern as you're going on top of the roof, is the house built to hold? Because it looked like you're putting tile on top of the roof, which is really heavy. And how do you know that's not going to collapse in? Was it built to use the roof?
Fortunately, most of the houses are all built like that because they build of cement as opposed to wood. So, but the majority of the property is cement, and most houses here are like that. So that's why, because anything else, they could able to withstand it. Secondly, is that we're not putting necessarily tile on that. That was a sample of what we would do with it. We're putting more lounges and fire pits and lights and tables, because people will set it up where they want a wedding or for an event, and then they take that down. So it's very light patio furniture, and it's built for that. It's strong enough for that. The property, the same thing.
So you can you can paint the existing floor that's there. It's just a concrete floor. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. There's already a stairwell that leads up to the rooftop as well. So it's a lot of the properties there, like Desiree was saying, they're built for that, for hosting and entertaining on the roof. They just really haven't been utilizing it up there. So yeah, that's definitely that, and that's what we're doing with the current project that Desiree's at right now. Same scenario.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love rooftops.
I know, what's that? It's nice weather. This weather is so beautiful here. The nights are even so beautiful, and to have the views, it's incredible. It's magical up there.
How is it right now?
Gorgeous. Look, they're like behind me.
I know.
No storms, huh?
Oh no. It's
not cold at all.
Oh no, it's warm. It's 85 something degrees. It's beautiful. 80. It's gorgeous. It's been like this too. I've been here since December, and it's like I'm supposed to leave today, and I think I canceled already. It's like Okay, I want to go home.
Yeah, well, getting back into LA, well, you wouldn't be going to LA, but yeah, it's raining here.
That's what I hear. It's cold and rainy.
I mean,
But,
San Diego has good weather too, but yeah.
It's just had a kind of a, I think I heard it's had a rough winter, so we'll see. But I think that, for, and again, investment also, you didn't mention it, but you also get, as an investor, you get time at the property. I forget what the days and times are, Jake, but, that's also like added plus value that offer all the investors a chance to be able to come and stay for a few days at the property. So you'll be able to see it. And if
Better
anyone
than
wants,
buying a timeshare.
absolutely. The appreciation is so much. I mean, you're thinking about taking a house, and this could happen anywhere, right? You have an 8,000 square foot house that has 3 bedrooms, 3 in a casita, and 2.5 baths. So we're adding 3 more bedrooms and 3.5 baths, or maybe 4, another one in the casita. So anytime you take any property and add double the size of it, not the footprint, but just double the use of the property, then you have the appreciation. And as Jake said, the couples are older and they want the husband has passed and the wife doesn't want to keep it by herself. And the kids have, they're out in Oregon, so they don't really want to bother with it. So we got a fantastic opportunity. It'll take a property within the same footprint, double the size, double the usage, and then double the value of the property.
Yeah, that's smart. That's the way, that's really how to appreciate a property. Most people think you can force it by raising the rents. That's not the way to really make a property have more appreciation. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah. How come we don't have the little hand symbol anymore to raise our hand?
It's
I don't
under
know.
reactions.
Under reactions, if you hit reactions.
It's there.
Under reactions.
Oh, reaction. Okay, I'll wait my turn.
Well, you can, all right, fine. Okay, Seema.
I think it
love
is
it.
that it's the 4 sips of Baileys that I've taken so far that has done me in. So why is the property so expensive? 1.6 to 7 million?
1.4 million, I think,
I would
right?
have thought.
$1.4 million. That's extremely low. I don't know anywhere in California or that you can get a beach, a property with a beach, ocean view, that you can drive a golf cart to the beach. That's a gated community that has a restaurant, a bar, pickleball, tennis courts, and all the amenities. And the property itself is gated on the 3rd hole of the golf course in good condition, moving condition, that price. And it's almost 8,000, like just short of 900. Okay. So that's very, very, very
expensive. No, the reason I'm asking is because this is Mexico. This is not California. That was all. Right. And I really don't know much about Mexico price.
So that's a great question, Seema. So the comps in the area for, in that area, in that community are around 1.8. So that's the value in that area. San Jose del Cabo definitely is not the one of the cheapest areas in Mexico. You can definitely find super cheap properties in other, parts of Mexico for sure. But yeah, Cabo is probably one of the most expensive areas of Mexico. And that's, partly because it's one of the safest areas as well. So
not Tijuana.
Yeah, not Tijuana. You don't want to buy there. And so, similar to US. In US, there's every market has different average price points. So San Jose del Cabo definitely isn't comparable to the rest of Mexico, in my opinion. But if you look at the comps in that area, they're right around 1.8. So we're getting a pretty hefty discount on the purchase price.
And Jake, I think you also know that some of the condos, you can get a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo or 2-bedroom, 2-bath condos for the same price. On our comps today, we looked at the comps today. And so there's some condominiums at like 1,200 square feet for the same price. So it's
in
very,
Cabo?
Pardon?
That price is in Cabo?
Yes, for condominiums. There's a lot of condominiums that are, upward of $1 million. So people think that all of Mexico is cheap, but again, like you said, Nika, it's not Tijuana. It's just, this is the creme of the creme of Mexico. So, and it's not the most expensive.
I have a friend that's a real estate agent in San Miguel Allende. And I mean, which, is another nice area. There's a lot of tourists and expats and stuff. I mean, she was like, I see her posting on her little things like $1 million houses and where she lives. I mean, she's a real estate agent there. So in Mexico, she's been there for like 20 years.
Yep. No, you're exactly right. The foreign investment into the area is part of what's driving the prices up, the values in that area. And so they want to attract more foreign investment to continue to build up their infrastructure there as well. And so that's, partly why the prices are the way they are.
And believe me, Desiree's going to get the best price she can. She's not going to overpay for a property if she can possibly help it, because she knows she needs to raise the money to turn it into what she needs to turn it into, so that it will cash flow and be desirable to co-living or corporates who want to have parties there. And I would think that some of the Mexican corporations would come there also, not just out of country, but local, because they still have the different classes in Mexico.
Yes.
So
Yes,
they're richer.
Yeah, there's a lot more money here than people believe. There's a lot of wealth here. They're just not as flashy about it as we are in the United States, I think, as far as the cars and the jewelry and the handbags, whatever, but there's a lot of money here that they work hard and they combine their money together. So there's houses here worth $50 million and people buy them. So and some of the locals own them. So there's a lot of money here. Good money.
I have a question. How long does it take to you have to get the Fidio Comicio for this one too?
Yes, but the thing is, it doesn't take that long. Ours took, one I'm at now, took a little longer because the property had 6 condos and 5 different owners. So 5 different owners, 5 different banks and 5 different documents and 5 different time lanes, whatever. This is just one. And so they just had a trust, probably because of the, because of the passing. And that's been resolved. So this should take no time.
Good question. Yeah, that last project we did was a condo building that we converted, versus this one is just a single family.
Yeah, and we already had the team, so we had the same renovation team that we're using here as far as painters, and we changed the ceiling fan, we changed the painting, we changed the light switch. Some of the little things that they give it a more modern, updated look, and mostly the furnishing. So we have a lot of the same team, as Jake mentioned, not only for the reno, but on the management here. So we're able to take advantage of the ability to scale.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And are you using the same people to clean the place and oversee the place that you are?
Yes, the same management. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because that way they know.
Great points. That is essentially adding to our economies of scale, right? So we're going to be able to use the same teams down there for more doors, which will lower our expense rate for each property. So yeah, great point. Having more doors is going to make it more cost efficient.
Fred has his hand up.
Go for it, Fred.
Hey, this sounds like a good opportunity, and congrats on the plan of increasing the utilization without changing the footprint. This is just a follow-up to Peggy's comment about the roof. My guess is that roof was designed for the original footprint of the house. I think you said 3 bedrooms or whatever. Given that you're adding to it, you might be doing this already, but if you're not, it probably would be money well spent to have an engineer check that for you. Because if you're doing something like weddings or corporate events, you could probably easily end up with 40, 50, 60 people on top of the roof. It's probably good to know what your limit is going into it, because from a liability standpoint, nothing would kill an investment faster than a roof collapse with a bunch of people on top of it. Not to mention the people. So it's probably money.
I mean, our intention is to have a maximum capacity. Even the property we're doing now, even though it's all cement, if you could see the houses around it and next to it, you'll see that all of them have their roofs built out. they actually have the lounges and things of that type. But we just for our knowledge of knowing what our capacity is, if we have a maximum capacity, then we would have that so we could justifiably say this is the maximum capacity we could have. I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And actually, they're adding more walls on the inside. They're not changing, they're not doing an addition. They're actually adding more bedrooms. So there'll be more walls to support the ceiling inside. I mean, it won't be structural walls, but you know.
Nika, I didn't know you went to engineering school.
Oh, yeah.
No, but interior design, I've been doing for
Okay.
20 years. So
I'm not an engineer, so I
yeah.
don't claim to know, but
Sounds like you
Yeah.
are. So Fred did ask if there was access to the beach, and you did answer yes, there is. How far is there a fee to use the beach? I don't know.
No.
So they
No,
have free access also. And then if I were to walk, how far would it be? Would it be like a mile or a 15-minute walk, or would you say?
I say more like a 15-minute walk. We will have a golf cart at the house. We'll have a golf cart, and there's a trail that's right there. You know, the golfers use that same trail to get to the other side of the golf course. Because the golf course extends itself to the beach area. So you just simply get the trail with the golf cart and then drive down to the beach. What's interesting is that there's only a few swimmable beaches in the Costa Azul in the area as far as the Sea of Cortez. And it happens to be because of Sea of Cortez, the waves, the things that are much more manageable. This one is one of them, because if you look at the picture again, you'll see that the front of us is the Hilton Hotel. So our golf cart goes right to the Hilton Hotel, and their beach is swimmable. They've actually built it up and built it really beautifully so that they can. It's had little I don't know what you call it, coves and things in it. So yes, it's very easy. It's very accessible, and it's one of the best beaches that's along this way, because there's not a lot of swimmable beaches here. Because of the cliffs and the rocks and the tides and waves. So it's really a great
that's
beach.
the beach that you're sharing, the Hilton Beach.
Yeah, well, it's a public beach that the Hilton just has to have. They happen to be there on the beach, but the beach itself is open to the public, and they just have it. They have an area that's roped off, like a lot of the hotels will have a roped off area, but it's the same beach. You can go walk in front of their ropes, and you have access to the same beach. They can't block the beach. It's a public beach.
Right. Okay.
That's great. Yeah, California used to be like that. They let them start blocking the beach, which is too bad. Because they used to have to, especially at Malibu, they had to leave access so people could park on the road and then walk down to the beach. And now they've been able to put up gates and not let people walk through, which to me, that's illegal. Anyway, that's a California problem. Are there any other questions or any other comments?
When you invest in this, are you investing in an LLC in the US, or is it a different method?
Excellent question. Yes, it is. Our LLC is out of the state of Wyoming. So our corporation is formed there. And so we actually we do business in Mexico. We pay the taxes in Mexico, and then our profits go through to the America, and then you receive a K-1 as you would for any other investment. So all our expenses here.
That's really good.
Oh, so you'll be able to get tax deductions.
Yes. Yes, and it just depends on which ones will be applicable to you. But yeah, it's just everything is paid here, so all the funds and everything goes there. Our escrow is in the States, as well as again our corporation and our banking associations are.
So if you're able to give tax deductions, are you going to do a cost seg? Is it worth
They
doing?
advise us to get the property first. Usually we get the property, usually it depends on the first year of whether you have your income and losses. And if you have more losses than income, they suggest that you do it the second year. So for the write-off. So we really don't know exactly. That's our intention, is to do that. We won't really know when until we actually get into the property.
Now, cost segregations are depreciating in benefit. This year you have 80%. Next year it's supposed to be 60. So you might want to consider.
Yes, well, that definitely, we look into it every time you get a property. It just depends. Our accountant will say, okay, you have, because the first year when you do a lot of rehab, depends on how much rehab we're doing and how many expenses we have, as to whether it's going to be worth it or not, whether you'll be able to write enough off. So that definitely, they look into that.
what tax write-offs are important to people who need them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's always an added benefit.
Yeah, and you don't get that in other countries. They're all like, what is that thing you get to write? We don't get to do that. I know England doesn't get to do that. I don't know about a lot of Europe, but I know that in England, you don't get to write off anything on your properties, which is really too bad. But, as much money as they could get, that's what they want. Lisa.
Hi. I was just
Hi.
wondering if your I saw your previous presentations on the other properties, and I always talk to my husband about it because I like the concept of what you're doing. And do you also accept like IRA to invest?
Yes,
Money
we
in?
do. Yes, we
Oh,
do.
okay.
Self-directed IRAs. We have a couple of custodians that we work with that you can use your own. And if
Okay.
it's not what it is, we'll provide them with the documentation, and it's usually no problem. It's a great way to use
Yeah.
those funds. You're not making a 16% upwards of those funds. So it's a great way to put them, to maximize the use of them.
Yeah, because
Thank
the stocks is killing our IRA right now.
Stop,
Ooh.
please. Stop the- move the
Yeah.
money.
And everybody else.
Yes, I know.
You
All
get
right.
out, get out.
I know. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, here goes Vlad. Okay, good. Any other questions? Well, Vlad missed the whole thing, so it was nice of you to stop by. We're now leaving, Vlad. Just kidding.
If he wants more information, he can contact you, Peggy, yes?
I'm sorry, say again.
If he wants more information, he can contact you.
Of course, and we are recording this, so anybody will be able to watch it on YouTube. We're working to put the thing together, and then we're going to start sending them out to everybody. So that will be another way that they will, if they weren't able to join at all, they could still watch the YouTube.
Fantastic. So
Desiree?
they come, how many positions? Yes, I'm sorry.
I might have missed this earlier because I came in late. Are you billing all the renters or the customers in US dollars, or what are the rates set at?
They pay through Airbnb. So however Airbnb does it. So there's so many people from different countries. So I'm assuming that Airbnb does the conversion. So we have our prices, and actually personally, we don't know. We get the monies in the US dollars. So I'm not sure what the conversion rates is, but
Okay, but
Airbnb.
all of the revenues you receive are all US dollar based.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thanks.
And I'm sure any conversion that has to be made will be paid by the customer.
Yes, yes. That's why even the ones that we have in San Diego, a lot of our guests are from Switzerland and Europe and China and NIP area. So we just always get the US dollars, and you designate that with Airbnb and make the conversion.
That's it's really
great
great. I mean,
Yeah, I never thought.
isn't Airbnb all over the world now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So they have to do that.
Yeah, so that's a great convenience like
Yes.
that. So
Jake, how many positions do we have existing left approximately?
Yep. So just to recap it, so we're raising 1.7 total. It's $100K minimum investment for accredited investors only. We have allowed people to come into our investments as an LLC, people who've wanted to partner together. So that's an option for some who aren't going to come in solo. So maximum, we have 17 spots available if everybody does the minimum investment. We haven't had that happen yet. We always have at least a handful of people that do more than the minimum. I think we've brought in 5 or 6 already. So yeah, we're kind of coming down to the tail end of it. The property is closing at the end of this month. So we have about 14 days left to get the final passive investors in. And that's the timeline we're looking at. And then the distributions will start in July.
oh,
And
you
another,
start immediately.
someone we have in the past made a few exceptions. So somebody really wants to get in and doesn't quite have a partner to partner with to be able to do it as an LIC or a joint venture. you can contact us, Peggy, and see if you can make the exception with coming in for less. I think our real goal is to be able to get people started in syndications. A lot of people want to be invested in real estate. They want to invest even outside of the United States, but they don't have the bandwidth, the knowledge, the funds, or even the time to be able to do it. So this is an opportunity to get your real estate portfolio started. And all of a sudden you'll be an investor, international real estate investor. So if you're interested, contact Peggy and tell her what you have. I'm going to contact us and we'll see what we can do to work together. Because we know if we start together, we can finish together.
Thank you.
And it'll help more people live where they work where they live, anywhere in the world. Thank you, Peggy, so much for the opportunity.
No, it's really been great. I'm really looking forward to coming and visiting because I see no reason why I can't be doing this. I'm going to Phoenix this next week and I'm thinking, gee, do you have a place in Phoenix? It would be way better if I could check into something like that than to a hotel.
Absolutely. No, we don't, but that's the idea. People can live in a hotel or even another Airbnb by themselves, but that's no fun. Why not go someplace with like-minded people? You can socialize together, go to the restaurants together, learn the city, see the city together, have fun at the property itself. So it's just a great way to live and work.
Yes, it is. Seema.
Can we have a nest egg meeting there then?
Sure, we can do that.
Can we have a nest egg? Can we have a nest egg meeting anywhere that some of us can come? Some of us have no life and don't go on vacation with anybody, even a cruise,
Seema,
then,
we have
then
to
we
do
can talk
something.
about.
We're going to do something with you, for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and Peggy should start, cruising around the world together.
That's a great idea. We actually some people are expecting to come down and they want to see the properties and see the investment. So if anyone wants to come down and check us out and see the properties and walk through the properties, we're more than happy to host you.
Oh, thank you.
Find your way here. We'll take it from there.
Okay, that's really great. Do you have any other questions, Seema? Does anyone have any other questions or comments? Okay, so we will make sure, I don't know if you all looked at we did send this to all of you. So why don't you take a look at it and then give us a call and we'll set up a time to talk to you about investing in this. There's nothing like getting away to 80-degree weather when you're in rain. And
It
sleep
snowed here this morning.
like that, so. Okay, Vlad, thank you for dropping in. Nice to see you, Maria. Tyshawn, we didn't get to say hi to any of you, so thank you very much. And if there's no other questions or comments, we are going to stop recording.
Of course. Thank you so much. I apologize for being late.
It's quite all right.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Desiree and Jake, for coming and explaining all of this to us. We're so happy to have you host.
We appreciate it anytime.